Welcome to Sandbox FOMO5 from Buro Happold. Each week we pick short snippets from our most recent episode for your listening pleasure. These quick listens could be valuable insights, thought-provoking elements, or even practical advice that will no doubt enrich your life and knowledge. Sandbox brings together curious individuals interested in a specific topic to discuss, dissect, and interrogate it. The style is conversational, with experts from Buro Happold and invited external guests who will add another angle to the narrative. Listeners are encouraged to gather around our podcast so that we can explore the latest advances in various fields and expand our collective horizons. Sometimes we'll tackle a subject head-on, sometimes a sideways view, but always with curiosity, expertise, and who knows, maybe even a dash of humour. Let's start with the biggie, the weather. Well, more than just the weather, the climate. Temperatures have been rising in recent years and heat waves have been hogging the headlines with increasing frequency. Only now is humanity scrambling to mitigate and manage a hotter world. But when it comes to the places we live, the buildings we work in and those we call home, are they fit for purpose? And what changes are being necessitated in the built environment? I asked the panel to talk about this back in our episode Weathering Heights, and this is what Lara Balazs from Buro Happold said. What can we do as individuals ourselves? What can we be doing to help mitigate this, the little wins that we can do that might contribute towards a bigger communal thing?
Having an understanding of building physics and how you operate your own building, so that might be your own home. So being able to understand, can I make use of cross ventilation, or do I have sash windows where I can make an opening at the top, bottom and at the top to increase the flow rate of air through my building? To be able to get comfortable with your energy bill and get comfortable with any energy data you have. We've got the smart meter rollout still happening in the UK, but through having smart meters in your home, you can access that data. So being able to access your data and look at how much energy am I using throughout the day? Can I see when I'm having a shower, when I'm using my kettle? Do I know what my home's base load is? And can I turn things off and turn things on? I think that getting comfortable with building physics and also with energy is such an important thing to be able to understand how you can use it better and just make sure that you're using our shared resources in a much more efficient way.
Smith Mordak, CEO of UKGBC, added,
I think in some ways these like heat as a service models, it's a kind of like Netflixification of heating, right? It's like you're paying for a streaming service and you've got a clear billing that you understand and it's more related to what you know, but then you can always expect to go and watch your TV show or have the radiators on. But it also, there's another side to it that I think can put us at a bit of a distance from our own responsibilities as well to make sensible decisions. Do we really want to be running the dishwasher and the washing machine and 3 kettles when it's really not windy and really not sunny? Obviously, that's not sensible in a world where we have a limited renewable energy budget and we can't have everything on at once in the same way. I think sometimes the kind of on-demand service mentality leads us to expect that we can just have everything whenever we want to have everything and kind of disconnect us from the reality of, in the same way as you check the weather or you look outside the window before you decide what you're going to put on before you go outside, like in terms of what you're going to wear, maybe we need to just be thinking a little bit more about the weather and our energy use. It's like, It's raining and it's not at all sunny, so I'm going to take my umbrella and also I'm not going to, put 3 kettles on and boil loads of noodles right now. I'm not into like mass noodles.
Yeah, you really like noodles.
I do, it's true. And maybe I'm hungry, but I think it's just making those decisions like in relation to what's actually happening and not just expecting to be able to have everything all the time. And I don't mean that to sound like, we should be overly kind of strict about that and like, no, you cannot have this and that I say so. I think there are good examples of where energy companies have just very simply, sent texts out saying, we don't have much energy right now. If you can turn anything off, please do. And people will do that. It works really well when they've done these trials because people will do that just because everyone gets that. Like you don't have to necessarily make it about pricing or anything like overly complicated. sometimes just transparent communication, like any good relationship, is enough to make a difference. And I think maybe for those on-demand things to work, they need to be paired with this kind of communication and mutual trust and like building up the trust in the infrastructure and in the systems that we're all relying on. So maybe in some ways I'm answering your question by saying, like, well, what is it that we can do? Well, I think we just need to understand a little bit more about all of the processes that are at play. And obviously anybody who's still listening at this point in the podcast is committed to doing that. So thank you. But also just being open to changing little parts of our behaviors, because those two little things can add up as well. And I think as we move from an energy system that is like using a lot of fossil fuels to an energy system that is much more reliant on things like the weather and how much storage we've got and things like that, then those peaks are much more difficult to service. So we need to collaborate a little bit to sort of smooth out our energy use. And so we have to do that through communication.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick dip into our last episode of Sandbox. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the show. You'll find Sandbox in all the usual places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buro Happold's YouTube channel, and on the Buro Happold website. What's more, if you want to join the conversation on X, known as Twitter to his old friends, use the hashtag BHSandbox. We'd love to hear from you on any of the topics discussed.